Good evening and welcome to Express News with me, Deepika, your daily half-an-hour window that brings you 100 news and updates from the country and the world in 30 minutes. Let's begin. At the India-EU Business Forum, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that both India and the European Union have focused on the defence industry and frontier technologies. He also stressed on enhancing partnership on space telecom. The Minister of Commerce and Industry, Piyush Goyal, said that India-EU FTA was laying the foundation for a very powerful economic, geopolitical and strategic partnership of the 21st century. Earlier in the day, India and the European Union have concluded a historic free trade agreement in what has been dubbed as mother of all deals. The agreement was announced at the 16th India-EU Summit. This is India's largest FTA to date. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that today is a day that will be remembered forever. He added that the deal will help creating quality jobs in key sectors, enable further mobility for Indian youth and professional talent. European Commission Chief Ursula von der Leyen said that the deal will facilitate the movement of students, researchers, seasonal and highly skilled workers. President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, highlighted the importance of trade deal between India and European Union, stressing that both India and EU are working hand in hand to deliver concrete benefits to the citizens. European Council President Antonio Costa showed his overseas Indian card during the joint press meet. He said that he is proud of his roots in Goa, where his father's family came from. The India-EU FTA gives a decisive boost to India's labour-intensive sectors such as textiles, apparels, leather, gems and jewellery, handicrafts and automobiles, bringing down tariffs up to 10% on almost $33 billion of exports to zero on entry. India and European Union are fourth and second largest economies, comprising 25% of global GDP and account for one-third of global trade. Germany's finance minister has said that India-EU FTA creates new opportunities for growth and good jobs while deepening strategic partnership. CEOs of top German car makers Volkswagen, BMW and Mercedes welcomed the finalization of the India-EU FTA, saying that it represented an opportunity for Germany. Equity benchmark indices Sensex and Nifty rebounded sharply from early lows and were trading higher on Tuesday, tracking firm global cues and optimism surrounding the India-European Union trade deal. European stocks edged higher on Tuesday, helped by a trade deal between the European Union and India. The US dollar edged higher on Tuesday but struggled to gain momentum while traders remained on the alert for potential coordinated currency intervention by authorities in the United States and Japan. South Korean stock markets rallied on Tuesday following Wall Street's healthy lead, with tech firms leading South Korea to another record as investors brushed off Donald Trump's threat to hike tariffs. US President Donald Trump has announced he is raising tariffs on South Korean imports to 25% after accusing the country of not living up to an earlier trade pact struck with Washington. Following Trump's announcement on tariffs, South Korea said on Tuesday it had not been informed about the tariff hike plans in advance. Earlier, the two countries reached a deal on trade and security issues. China's biggest sportswear brand, Anta Sports Production, said it would buy a 29% stake in Puma for $1.8 billion, making it the biggest shareholder in the German sportswear maker. Anta Sports has ruled out a full takeover, saying that the deal is expected to help Puma increase its sales in the Chinese market. US chip firm Micron said Tuesday it was building a $24 billion plant in Singapore to help meet soaring AI-driven demand that has caused a global shortage of memory components. Banks in Bolivia will begin returning US dollar savings to small savers following 2 years of restrictions caused by a foreign currency shortage in the national financial system. Britain, Germany, Denmark and other European countries signed a clean energy pact at North Sea Summit in Hamburg, pledging to deliver 100 gigawatts of offshore wind power capacity. Truck drivers protested on the Serbian-Croatian border over the next entry-exit system, which they say is causing long delays and threatening their livelihoods. The protest was part of a larger action by truck drivers across the Western Balkans, which halted transport through a corridor that links the European Union with Turkey and the Middle East. France's LVMH, which is the world's largest luxury goods group, reported a 1% rise in sales of third quarter. Sales at the fashion and leather good division, home to flagship brands Louis Vuitton and Dior, and accounting for over two-thirds of profits. Boeing reported its first annual profit since 2018 due to gains from an asset sale, as the company points to quality control improvements that has enabled increased plane production. Spain's unemployment level fell below 10% in the fourth quarter of last year, official data showed on Tuesday, a first since the 2008 financial crisis. The British government has recruited a team of artificial intelligence specialists to build AI tools to improve transport, public safety and defense using funding from Meta. US President Donald Trump sent his border czar Tom Homan to Minnesota in an apparent bid to ease tensions over the killing of a second person by immigration agents. Protesters gathered outside a hotel in Minnesota where Gregory Bovino was reportedly staying after the official was removed from his role as the commander-at-large for US Border Patrol. Demonstrators assembled outside Senator Amy Minneapolis's office, urging her and other Minnesota legislators to block proposals that would increase funding for immigration and customs enforcement. Iran has said that the movement of a US warship would not diminish its determination or capability to defend itself, following President Donald Trump's warning of an American armada heading towards the region. Russian President Vladimir Putin's special envoy Kirill Dmitriev said that Ukraine's withdrawal from the Donbas region was the path to peace. Russia controls about 90% of the Donbas region. Russian Army Chief Gerasimov said that Russian forces captured 17 settlements and took control of more than 500 square kilometers of territory in Ukraine so far in January. Russia's defense ministry has released images it says shows the Russian Army Chief Valery Gerasimov visiting troops fighting in eastern Ukraine. At least 4 people were killed in separate attack by Russia and Ukraine. Regions targeted including Kharkiv. Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi holds her first rally in central Tokyo with dozens of people gathering to listen to her speak. Official campaigning began in Japan on Tuesday ahead of a snap election on the 8th of February. Japan's defense ministry said that North Korea fired what appeared to be a ballistic missile towards the Sea of Japan on Tuesday. South Korea's Joint Chief of Staff also said it had detected a projectile being fired towards what Seoul calls the East Sea. Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi said the alliance between Tokyo and Washington would collapse if Japan failed to act in the event of an attack on the US military during a conflict in Taiwan. Taiwan's armed forces conducted annual combat drills ahead of the Lunar New Year, highlighting the HIMARS unit formed in 2025. They said, "We still remain in a state of combat readiness at all times and in all places," unquote. Israeli forces brought home on Monday the remains of Ranjivili, the last hostage held in Gaza. His mortal remains was accompanied by a convoy of cars with blaring sirens and flashing lights. Venezuela's interim president, Delcy Rodriguez, said that the country expects about $1.4 billion in investment this year in projects under oil production, sharing contracts promoted by the government compared with some $900 million last year. Former presidential candidate of El Salvador's right wing, Norman Quijano, arrived in his country after being deported from the United States to serve a 13-year prison sentence for making deals with gangs. Thousands of Venezuelan migrants have crossed into Brazil following U.S. military strikes in Caracas and other cities earlier this month. Ecuador on Thursday announced it would impose tariffs on the transport of Colombian oil as trade frictions escalate between South American nations. German authorities offered a €1 million reward for information leading to the identification of the perpetrators of the sabotage of a power line in Berlin, causing a major blackout at the start of January. France's lower house of the parliament has passed a bill banning access to social media for children under the age of 15. Clashes break out in central Toulouse between demonstrators and police forces on the sidelines of a gathering of around 100 farmers from Rural Coordination Union. Death toll from a fire at a Greece biscuit factory has risen to 5. The explosion early on Monday ripped through an entire section of the Volunteer factory near the central Greek city of Trikala. International Holocaust Remembrance Day, observed annually on the 27th of January, honors 6 million Jewish victims and millions of others killed by the Nazi regime. The day marks the 1945 liberation of Auschwitz-Birkenau by Soviet troops. Time for a short break. We'll be right back.
One of India's newest states, one of India's oldest lands. Jharkhand is a hidden.
Take a front seat to witness the grandeur.
Welcome back. Let's continue. Rescue teams in Indonesia are continuing efforts to clear mud and debris days after a deadly landslide struck West Java, killing at least 17 people and leaving dozens missing. The flow of soil and debris barreled through the village in the West Java province early on Saturday, burying homes and forcing dozens to evacuate. A massive winter storm continues to batter the United States, bringing heavy snowfall and dangerous cold temperatures. More than 20 people have died as conditions worsened nationwide. The powerful storm has affected nearly 190 million Americans, more than half of the U.S. population. At least 25 governors declared states of emergency. Officials warn ice and freezing air will deepen disruptions. Heavy snow has crippled power supplies and air travel nationwide. Temperatures dropped to minus 10 degrees Celsius as Arctic air settled in. Travel and utility disruptions are expected to continue this week. Ciudad Juarez, a northern Mexican city along the U.S. border, witnessed rare snowfall as a historic winter storm swept across large parts of the United States. A harsh heat wave gripped Buenos Aires. Temperatures rose to a high of 36 degrees Celsius, according to National Meteorological Service. The city remained under a yellow alert for high temperatures. Relief is expected later in the week as temperatures fall. Families gathered near ponds and fountains to cool off. Heavy rain and thunderstorms hit several parts of Delhi on Tuesday. The IMD issued a red alert for northwest, west and central areas. Gusty winds and lightning were reported across the city. Light to moderate rainfall was recorded across Delhi, IMD confirmed. Orange alerts were issued for east and northeast Delhi. Gusty winds and isolated heavy spells are likely. Heavy snowfall in Kashmir has stranded thousands of vehicles. Traffic remains suspended near Kazigund in Anantnag district. The Jammu-Srinagar highway has been closed since Monday. Snow clearance operations are currently underway. Several flights were cancelled at Srinagar airport due to snowfall. The Mughal Road in Poonch district of Jammu and Kashmir has been closed following heavy snowfall in the region. Authorities suspended traffic as a precautionary measure to ensure public safety, with road clearance operations to resume once weather conditions improve. Following heavy snowfall, Bhadraba in Jammu and Kashmir turned into a snowy playground as children enjoyed playing in the fresh snow. The winter spectacle brought joy to the locals, with youngsters seen making snowmen and engaging in various outdoor activities. A special train service is operating between Katra and Srinagar. The move comes amid adverse weather conditions in Jammu and Kashmir. The train is providing crucial connectivity during ongoing disruptions. The National School of Drama organizes the 25th edition of Bharat Rang Mahotsav 2026, which is the world's largest international theatre festival. It will go on from the 27th of January till the 20th of February. Bharat Rang Mahotsav unfolds as its most expansive edition, staging performances across 40 locations in India with participation from all 7 continents. The festival features 277 Indian productions along with 12 international productions, highlighting its global scale and cultural diversity. A food festival at the Botanical Garden in Munnar, Kerala began on Sunday with an exhibition of hot, flavorful local delicacies. This food festival organized by a district mission and it's going to conclude on Tuesday. This food festival aims to encourage community participation and promote tourism. Inmates at Bengaluru Central Prison baked biscuits, savouries and cupcakes served at the Republic Day event at Manekshaw Parade Ground. Ahead of the Samaka Saraka Jatara, one of the largest tribal festivals in the world, tribal artists from New Zealand performed at the Midaram temple premises in Telangana. In Mongolia, camel herders highlighted nomadic heritage at Dungovi Camel Festival. 2 popular panda twins are set to leave Tokyo for China, marking the first time in 50 years that Japan will be without pandas. The 2026 Dog and Cat exhibition is underway in Karnataka, bringing together pet lovers, breeders and veterinarians. Information and Broadcasting Ministry's Republic Day tableau, Bharat Gatha Shruti Kriti Drishti, showcased India's storytelling journey from oral traditions and epics to modern cinema. The INB tableau highlighted Guru Shishya Parampara, the Mahabharata, and the evolution into film, blending heritage with technology. Filmmaker Sanjay Leela Bhansali collaborated on the concept with vocals by Shreya Ghoshal. The much-loved Hindi comedy franchise Dhamal 4 will now release in theatres on 3rd of July. Directed by Indra Kumar, the film stars Ajay Devgan, Pritesh Deshmukh and others. The release date was shifted as it falls on an auspicious day. Border 2 has crossed 250 crore rupees worldwide in just 4 days. The Sunny Deol Varun Dhawan starrer saw a strong Republic Day boost, earning over 59 crore rupees domestically, driven by positive word of mouth. Malayalam movie Victoria, directed by Sivaranjani, has won the Best Film Award at the 2nd Guwahati Asian Film Festival 2026. Cinematographer Anand Ravi received a jury special mention for his work in Malayalam film Victoria at GAF 2026. The first look of Manoj Manchu from pan-Indian action drama David Reddy is out. Set in the British era, the film stars Maria as the female lead and will release in multiple languages. South Indian actor Vijay Deverakonda's upcoming film Rana Bali, directed by Rahul Sankrityan, will hit the theatres on the 11th of September. The film is set in 19th century India and stars Rashmika Mandana alongside him. The first look of Ravi Teja's upcoming film is out, showcasing the actor in a powerful spiritual avatar. The film presents Ravi Teja in traditional Ayyappa Mala attire amid a vibrant devotional setting. American rock band Linkin made a powerful Mumbai debut at Lollapalooza, India 2026, performing hit tracks like In the End and Somewhere I Belong before a roaring crowd. World number 3 and last year's runners-up Alexander Zverev paved his way into the Australian Open semi-finals as he crushed Liana Tien by 6-3, 6-7, 6-1, 7-6 in Melbourne. Alina Svitolina stunned third-seed Coco Gauff to sail into an Australian Open semi-final and inch closer to a maiden Grand Slam title. World number 1 Arina Sabalenka has advanced into Australian Open last 4 after a commanding victory over 18-year-old Eva Jovic. Jovic hailed Arina Sabalenka as inspiring after the world number 1 taught the 18-year-old a tennis lesson in the Australian Open quarter-final. Sabalenka said she could not understand why wearing fitness trackers was banned at the Australian Open after being told to remove hers. India will hope to extend their domination when they take on New Zealand in the 4th T20 International in Visakhapatnam on Wednesday. India have already clinched the 5-match series after taking 3-0 lead. All-rounder James Neesham, pacer Lockie Ferguson and wicketkeeper batter Tim Seifert have joined New Zealand team for the final 2 matches of the series. Scotland named a 15-member squad led by Richie Berrington for the T20 World Cup, which begins on 7th of February in India and Sri Lanka. Mumbai Indians player Netseever Brunt became the first cricketer in Women's Premier League history to score a century in Vadodara. 11-year-old racing sensation Atika Mir made a roaring debut in the WSK Supermaster Karting Series as she became the first Indian to set the second fastest time in qualifying grid in Italy. Kalinga Lancers defeated Ranchi Royals by 3-2 to clinch the Hockey India League title in Bhubaneswar. President of the Spanish Soccer Federation, Rafael Lucen, said Spain will host the final of 2030 FIFA World Cup. Paris Saint-Germain has signed 18-year-old midfielder Dro Fernandes from Barcelona on a 4-year deal. And former FIFA President Sepp Blatter backed call for fans to stay away from 2026 FIFA World Cup due to security concerns. And with this, it's a wrap here on Express News for now, but news and updates will continue here on DD India. Don't go anywhere. Keep watching and keep tracking DD India for all latest news and updates from the country and the world. Thank you so much for joining us. Namaskar.